A few years ago, I created iwannameet.com because I believe that despite the fact we've got so many wonderful gadgets in our lives, so many different ways of communicating, the old face-to-face meeting is still really important. And I'll give you an example of why I know I'm right, because I had a great experience back in September right here at my home in Gloucestershire. It was a result of an email from Gillian Dodrill, who says, my mum died in 1992, and after briefly trying to do a family tree research, I gave up. At the end of March this year, I tried again. And then she goes on and says, to cut a long story short, I found I had a sister called Jean. My mum, or rather our mum, had her in 1941, then left home when Jean was just a toddler and never went back. Her parents, Jean's grandparents, raised her as their own child. I've met Jean, Gillian says, and we emailed to keep in contact. Jean had breast cancer in 1995 and managed to survive it. Now at the age of 71, Jean has lung cancer. They will not do chemo or any other radical treatment for her. Please, it would make her day to meet Noel Edmonds, if only for a few minutes. And so that was the beginning of me having the most wonderful day with Jean right here. Gillian and her daughter had travelled down from London, and we had a very nice time chatting while we waited for Jean and her husband Charlie to come all the way from Hartlepool. And this was the moment we met. They had an emotional greeting. Jean told the story of her mother and the fact that she didn't know she had a sister. Tim, who's a very good friend, made an absolutely delightful spread for us. And I was very relieved that Charlie and I have something in common. No, he doesn't like red wine, but he does like beer. That is actually his second beer. And Mr. Chips, our dog, seemed to like them all very much. And do you know what? The day absolutely flew. This is quite a moment because Gillian is a bus driver and she trained on Routemaster buses, but not a bus with a lift. This is our Routemaster bus Victoria. That's Mr. Chips and that's Handsome the Swan. And this was one of those exceptional days where you meet total strangers and you all bond and you all have a wonderful time. The weather shone on us. There were lots of stories, lots of anecdotes, a few about me, but mainly about Jean and life in general. And the time absolutely flew by. I can honestly say this is one of the most enjoyable days I've spent in a long time, and it seemed over so soon as my new friends went back home, but hopefully they will keep in touch.